In recent days, we've seen on air, and we've seen it on social media, and also I think on some other media platforms, the incident involving the Russian guy who made public his intimate and private encounters with a number of women, and the conversation around this exposure has largely evolved around bastardizing the women, for lowering their standards, sometimes even overgeneralizing it to all women. But we know that behind all of these, we believe that the women may be facing some psychological or even beyond, mental and psychological, may have mental and psychological implications on them. And so this morning, we want to have a conversation around the issue of psychological and mental health in Ghana, but also then looking at how some of these incidences can impact on our private life and that of our family. We have here in studio Madam Boma Azure, and she's a private psychological practitioner, but also a member of the Ghana Psychological Association, right? You are welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you. From your perspective, with the incident involving the Russian guy and a number of women, what do you think will be the impact, just on top of your head, can be the impact of such exposure on the women?
All right. So first of all, I would like to state a word of an apology and then some discretion here, that we are sorry for speaking about this again, but this is so that we can educate the public on some of these situations, right? When people are aware of the mental health underpinnings of these behaviors in our society, then we can always be alert and be on the watch out for these. And so if we are reviving some emotions again, we apologize for that. Okay. So first of all, from a psychological perspective, okay, there are some theories like the trauma-informed theory. It states that safety, autonomy, and then security are one of the factors that causes people to lose themselves. All right. When one feels that I don't have the power to control this event, or either I don't feel secure in myself, or even the ability to understand, especially how fast pacing this is going, then they may go through some mental health challenges. And some could be anxiety, right? They may wake up with running thoughts in their heads. They could be also be going through hyperventilative, as an inability to control their breath, because you can imagine the backlash, the shock, waking up and to just hear that your pictures are out there in the public, right, without your consent. That can cause them to also go through depression one way or the other. And let's not forget, there's what we call the grieving processes, right, of this. Even though they have not lost someone, but they have lost a part of them, right? So they are now going to grieve my before and after. And this will go through a series of regret thoughts. Why did I even speak to this man? And they would think it is their fault. They would even wish that they don't go out to public again. Some may also stop eating, because all of this involves the phases of depression and other mental health challenges.
I don't think this is only just limited to them. I want to believe their close and loved ones would also be going to a similar thing, isn't it?
Definitely. The stigma, one thing about stigma is that it actually dwindles down to people, their loved ones, people close to them, people who knew them. So it doesn't just affect the individual alone, but people that they've known, people who also knows them may also even cease from talking about them. And so I would like to say that what is going on in the public eye today must be met with grace and mercy, right? You don't just have to speak whatever that comes to your mind, because there is an image behind the trends. Right? There is a full whole human being behind what is going on, and you cannot tell the mental health state they were before this happened. And this in turn will show us what people go through internally, right? The vulnerability aspect of it, the fact that we all look good and put together doesn't mean that we are perfect. There may be so much going inside of us, and so it has to be met with kindness. Like if I were in this situation, because the way it happened, it was like an everyday thing. Because how will you know? You would wake up and see yourself in the blogs, like people who knew you or not can say anything about you because there's a human being behind whatever topic.
Are there factors, psychological factors, that can make someone more vulnerable than the other?
Yes,
like when you touch on the vulnerability bit.
Yes, we do. I would like to first of all speak on attachment theory, right? And this I would like to involve parents. You see, the upbringing of children is very important or key here. I'm currently studying my PhD in child and family studies. The upbringing, right? You expose your children to the inconsistent parenting, the trust issues. Today you promise them and then you fail tomorrow, and you are not always around because yes, you are a professionally employed parent,
yes,
and you are high earning, and there's a new word now we call affluent negligence.
Okay.
Yes, affluent negligence means that high earning parents who by not their fault are not able to provide caregiving for their children. When I say caregiving, not just being around the house, but being a part of the child's life, teaching them how to ride a bicycle, how to cook, how to farm, how to plant a garden. All of these is part of the caregiving for parents. So if your children lack some of these basic developmental foundations, they'll grow up with attachment issues. I would also like to talk on post-colonial effects, right?
Yes.
Some of these are as a result that we see the white man as the epitome of testimony, of grace, of answered prayers, as kings. Like, I can't even emphasize this.
Oh yes, there are some people who even think, the pastor said I'll marry a white person, and you know there are people who, when you do something, ube wari obroni, you know, no, there. But I'm just adding to what you're saying, that there's that perception out there that marrying a white person is an answered prayer. Yeah,
exactly. And so you find a lot of women, you know, at the back of a lot of women's head, a white man approaching them is really God sent.
Yeah.
Right. But in my profession, we
interact with them.
Is a lot.
Yes.
Right. It's beautiful to have half-caste kiss.
Yes.
You know, it's good to travel there.
Yeah.
But look at your mental health state. Right. If not because of the colonial effects, would you see another man important than you are?
Definitely.
Like, would you think that there's someone better than you, right? Or will abroad be a heavenly place than Africa? But these are the effects that we still carry, the burden. And that's what we call the transgenerational trauma, right? Even though it is not seen with the clear eye, but unconsciously or subconsciously, people carry the burden of their forefathers with them. So sometimes in DNA, you can find certain traces that even your immediate parents may not have. So it is more of the trauma that has been passed down to us that is making a lot of women go through all of this. Another one too is unemployment. You can imagine the high rise of unemployment, a lot of graduates out there, no jobs for them. They don't even know what to do with their certificate for those who have graduated. And so I believe that if these women were financially stable, right?
Yeah.
Then they would have rejected him somehow. Because when I watched the video, it was very frustrating that a whole woman would just accept to follow someone. You know, initially I thought that maybe he was using some chemicals.
Yes.
But no, they were like right-minded.
Yes,
and they followed. And then lastly, I would say the lack of self-awareness, right? Knowing who you are, your personality, your purpose, your value in life, the meaning of who you are in this life, right? And then deeper with the self-awareness, self-love, right? If you love yourself, in Ghana, the safety is sure. If it were in other countries, I don't want to mention names, but can you just follow a stranger into his hotel room? There's kidnapping, there's abduction, there's trafficking. Like, So if you have like self-awareness and self-love, you would want to put yourself in this because it's very demeaning. But I want to come back and say, let's not violate them. Let's not speak bad against them, because all these are the psychological underpinnings to why they were vulnerable in
the first place.
Yes, and so let's meet them with love and grace and support them in whatever way we can. But it's also as a lesson for others to learn.
Would you say men are more, when it comes to this psychological underpinning factors, men are more predisposed or women are more predisposed? But I think over the weeks when last week when the incident happened, I said I strongly believe it was the other way around, would have equally gotten men falling. If a white lady was on the street offering free sessions, I'm sure a lot of
free sessions.
No, I'm very sure a lot of our men would have equally fallen, right? But coming back to the conversation around the psychology factors, do you think men are more predisposed or women are more predisposed to these elements you identified?
Yes. Are you a Ghanaian?
I'm a Ghanaian.
Of course. Our cultural double standards, a society double standards.
Yes.
Normally, for men, they are always met with, let's understand. They'll minimize any form of backlash, and they are always met with some level of grace, right? But for women, long-term reputational effects. Even if it happens that you give birth, your grandchildren will be told the story. Another thing is also the fact that for women, you would always be judged morally. Oh, you are a woman. Look at your values, your culture, your tradition. You are not supposed to do that. You are cheap. If you are a woman brought up from a home, you shouldn't have done this and all of that. So yes, the double standards are always there. In the other theories that state this, like the gender sigma theory, stating the disparities between men and women. And whether we like it or not, these things, they exist even years back. And these are the same reasons why today you have very open people fighting about feminism. Both men and women are fighting for it. And girl dads, men who have girls and they see what the future holds for them, will always want to, educate people about gender theories and some of these advocacy to let us know that whether woman and man, we all are the same. No matter how you put it, we are all important in the society. Look at you here, look at me here. You serve a certain role, I serve a certain role.
In someone's kitchen.
Did you hear that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, sense of humor. Good. But we play important roles in the society.
Beyond that,
right? So I just want to say that is the backlash were from men, mostly from men. And I understand, because we are one of their own, and it is painful, right, to watch your sister being deceived like that. Like outwardly, it looked like defensive, and that's what it portrays. But inside of them, they are hurt. How can you let somebody come here and embarrass our women like this? So, that's how I want to put it.
The friends and loved ones around them, what are some of the signs they should be looking out for in a way to come in to support them? What are some of the the signs you'll be seeing they are likely to see these young women or women exhibit?
It's sad, but it's not easy. Someone dwindling into depression. Okay, some of the signs would be, I'm not hungry. You give them food. It's, Mindy, it's fine. You see that even their upkeep would minimize, like their hair, how they used to wake up and dress nicely, because now it's a threat. It's a safety concern. They don't know. So if I go out and someone sees me and say, hey, this woman was part of the people in the videos, right? So that aspect, And secondly, the fact that they will binge watch videos on social media. They'll be following whatever that is going on every time. They are just there watching. They may even be crying either in the night where no one will see them, or maybe in the open where someone will like try to console them and all of that. And number two, you would find them and number three, you find them always talking about the issue. Sometimes they may want to speak and express their innocence. It is not as it is out there. Exactly. So, because one thing about social media is it's not as it appears. This Russian man decided to pick the areas where people will watch will make him feel great. Let's not also forget about this Russian man, his mental state of doing that. There could be some mental health challenges he's going through, to have to travel to someone's country to violate their women, and it's
get some self-worth,
self-gratification.
Yeah.
It's a game for him, right? And so I'll not digress, but then, so some of these depression symptoms that I've mentioned, they may want to stay away from food, go into negative thinking loops, always talking negative about themselves or what has happened, or even try to clear their name depending on the family that they come from. And then suicidal thoughts as well. They could tell you, look at what has happened, my life is almost over, why not I just take my life? So these are the lookouts that you should be aware. And even their appearance, you could see the demeanor in their faces and all of that. So when they're on the lookout like that, they need psychological help immediately.
And what are some of the coping strategies or mechanisms?
Okay, so the coping strategies is if they agree, right? Because in resilience theory, one of the most important factors for someone to bounce back is family support or friend support. So what we can do is, first of all, give them the safe space to talk about it. When something has already happened, don't try to tell the person you should have been smart. You should have been known. Like, you go to cycle and your phone is stolen, you should have been aware that cycle is not a place for you to just walk around anyhow. But it's happened. The person doesn't need that castigation. What the person needs now is mercy, love, because the shame is mainly about the fact that the Russian man did that. It's a violation, it's a crime, right? But if we come back to blame them, then definitely you look as if I don't have any supportive network here. I'm on my own. And that alone can cause them to isolate themselves, to withdraw themselves, because this is the time they need the help more. So number one is to take away their phones, if it's possible, to take away their phones and give them screen time limits. Okay, if I'm going to give you back your phone, I'm going to just give you 30 minutes, right? And then after 30 minutes, you take it back. You have to always remind them to eat. They are not babies, I understand. Some people say, but they are of age. One thing about mental health is it changes the brain system. Okay, instead of being able to rationally think and do things, right now the brain has gone into safe mode. The brain is doing everything to help them to survive. So you see that their behaviors is targeted towards survival. And so you have to be able to, one step at a time, help them and encourage them to eat. Number two is to help them to do the breathing techniques. When they are going through any form of anxiety and they are crying and they are wailing, you can open YouTube pages where they can learn these breathing techniques or progressive muscle relaxation, or even journaling things that have happened. But in all of this, they need to see a clinical psychologist that will take them through trauma, because this is trauma. So we take them through trauma-informed therapy, resilience therapy, any form of coping skills that they may need at this moment.
We know the family plays a key role here. Beyond all of this, what else can the family do, the bigger family, or do?
Okay, so in our culture, sometimes some of these are always met with the elders in the family. Maybe your bride price may be reduced because you've done this.
Yeah.
So yes, but in an external, so here it happened in Accra. Is any family member out there to receive them? Because here in Accra, they barely can go out. But if they have other family members outside of Accra, then they can take them in and then stop talking about it all the time. That alone would re-traumatize them. So extended family members can receive them and offer them that help. Yes.
What would be your final word to anyone going through such forms of depression or having had such exposures? And what will be your final word to them?
I'd say sorry to you. All right, it's not your fault, and there may be some psychological challenges you're not even aware of yourself that makes you vulnerable. And so you may be going through emotions right now, and there are going to be a lot of mixed emotions, and your thoughts are going to take you to places you've never been before, right? So when these things are happening, just allow yourself to understand that your body is functioning and is functioning to protect you. So it will go through all of these questions and thoughts just to get you to a grounded place. But you see, you can't do it alone. You have to go see a clinical psychologist that will help you to understand this. It could even be online. Now we do teletherapy. You don't have to go there in person. So that aspect is also there. And I would also like to say that certain thoughts, especially the suicidal thoughts, may come. And when they come, you are not a weak person. Don't think you are weak and that you are not a human being again. No, your life is beyond trends and entertainment industry in Ghana. Okay, so I would like you to see yourself as a person, as a whole human being going through this. And normally, what therapy does is that it will show you the other side of life that you never even thought existed. So we'll take you through the process, and you would see that you can recover, right? This will become a story that will help you to recover, because there are so many therapies that we can use to help you. And at the same time too, you would find strength in what you're going through. Sometimes you need to go through certain things, not that you have to, but if it happens, you can find a rationale to find the meaning of what really happened. Through that, you can find healing, right? But if you're not able to understand the meaning or the purpose of something to relate or connect with it, then you find yourself stuck in the situation, because there's no growth. When you find meaning, there'll be growth. But when there's no meaning, there's no growth for you. So you remain at a certain level in life, and for years, you find that your life ended where the event happened. Okay, so I would say that I'm sorry, and that there's still life after all of this, and it's not your fault. Never consume the shame or the violation that's going on, and you can also sue them. You can take the right to sue this
right
man. And so all the best, and the Ghana Psychological Association is here for you. Just
before you leave, the Ghana Psychological Association, so where is it based, and when people need support? Because I think there's other bits, okay, you need to seek help, but there are some people who may not be able to afford the help. Is there provisions, is there support network out there?
Yes, we have that support for them. I remember some events that happened. I cannot mention, I may re-traumatize people. But the Ghana Psychological Association is always available for major events or situations like this. We offer, it's a holistic thing we offer to clients who need it. And so if they reach out to us, if you go on what's the name, ChatGPT, Ghana Psychological Association, you find our location and our numbers. We are also located at Legon. There's a place there. We have an office over there. So, and the Ghana Psychology Council administers too. So you find us everywhere. If you need us, you will find us, and then we can help you.
Thank you. But just one more question. For this group of people out there, Is there a way that the Ghana Psychological Association, with support from the ministry, are you trying to reach out to them? Is there any effort to reach out to any of them?
So currently, we are trying to do the contact tracing, because it's a social media trend.
Yeah.
Right? You can't even find the main source of this. But if this TV station can provide us the contact of these people, we will reach out to them. Yes,
okay. Thank you very much, Madam Ophelia Azure. So that was the conversation we had on the remnants from the Russia man who came to our country. Seek help. Seek help. There is help there. You should know that this is just a stage of life. And those of you around them, this is not the time to start to continue castigating them, but they need help. And as Madam Azure said, there are several things you can do to help, and we hope that you're going to reach out to them in your environment, within your society or your community. Thank you very much.